In this video, I'll be explaining to you guys, my viewers, exactly how to build every single muscle in your body. Well, not every single muscle in your body, the main ones, the important ones in your body, so you can get them stronger. And if you want, you can get them bigger and just general stronger. That's the main reason. Now, and I'll also talk about recovery, nutrition, things of that nature. First off, how do you grow muscle? Well, you grow muscle by stressing it out. What do I mean by stressing it out? I mean that you give it little micro tears. When you work out and you go to failure, or a little bit past failure even, you get what's called micro tears. I'll throw up a picture on the screen. Anyways, micro tears equals stress. Now, how do you get muscle from stress? Well, when they recover, it'll become stronger and potentially, and over time, bigger. You don't wake up one day and just have these huge lats. You do a lot of pull-ups or lat pull-downs, whatever it is you do for the lat, and micro tears and recovery nutrition. And then over time, it gets bigger and stronger. So that's what you do with every single muscle. It doesn't matter which kind of muscle, every single muscle. Maybe there's some slight differences. Maybe there's a longer recovery, or you have to do this one workout or exercise every single day. And then that will help you gain muscle. I need to stop saying because I'm not retarded. Anyways, and I need to stop saying anyways all up. But so, recovery and nutrition. So after you do the workout, let's, for example, just to keep it simple, we're going to be talking about pull-ups for your lats, which is like bird wings, that part right here. So you do 3 sets, 10 pull-ups. The last set, you go to failure. So let's talk about nutrition. So you're gonna need to be getting protein. How much protein, you might ask? Every pound of body weight. So for example, I'm 160 pounds, that is, because I'm American. And so I would take at least 160 grams of protein, if not more. Now, you don't need to go have too much more grams of protein, but 160, 10 more, give or take. Okay, it's pretty customizable. As long as you're going over 160, and that's great. For example, if I was to have 180 grams of protein, that would be somewhat unnecessary. I really just need that 160 grams of protein to 170 grams of protein. Anywhere in that range, perfect, amazing. So that, and depending on if you want to get bigger, or if you want to bulk up, or you want to cut down, calories, they're important, but they're not as important as people think. And I'll get into that. So calories. If you want to gain weight, mainly fat, you're going to have a lot of calories. And if you want to lose weight, mainly fat, or it is fat, then less calories. And if you want to maintain where you're at, then I would suggest having your maintenance calories, which you can find it on, just search up on Google, maintenance or calorie tracker, or calorie counter, whatever it's called, I don't know. It's been a while since I've used one, so I don't know what it's called. Just search it up and figure it out yourself, or look in the comments, whatever, maybe. Now, you need cardio. What kind of cardio? Walking is the best type of cardio to lose fat. But gaining muscle, you may ask, is sprinting. Sprinting is so good. Sprint 2-3 times a week. It'll boost your human growth hormone. I've heard anywhere from 200% to 400%. It's probably somewhere in between. It's around somewhere in between. But it boosts your human growth hormone a lot. How do you sprint? So you sprint with around 90% of your capacity. Say if you could sprint 10% faster, don't. Sprint 90% of how fast you can run. And what you're going to do is you can work your way up to this, but try to get it to where you can do 5 sets of 30 seconds sprinting. So 30 seconds of sprinting as fast, or 90% of your energy, and then around 90 seconds of rest. And you repeat that 5 times. You can work up to that if you can't do it yet, but doing that will help you build muscle. And something else with nutrition that I forgot to mention is creatine. So a lot of people have this misconception about creatine. They hear, oh, it gives you more water weight, and they hear, oh, that's just gonna make me fat. But in reality, that's not what it does. Creatine moves water inside your muscles, not outside your muscles where it'll become fat. No, inside your muscles, and it makes them bigger and stronger. And creatine, you actually don't have to cycle it. You can take it for years at a time. because your body loses around 2 to 3 grams of creatine every single day. You need at least 5 grams to maintain a healthy amount. And so you can supplement it with creatine monohydrate. There's a few brands I'd suggest. Or you can, if you have steaks, at least one good thing of steak every day has around 5 grams of protein. Perfect. Now we can get into loading phase now, or we can wait till another video. I've already talked about it before, so just watch one of my other videos. I probably talked about it. And now, recovery is arguably one of the most important part of the whole process of gaining muscle and becoming stronger. There's a few parts, a few different types of recovery that we can talk about. First off, and this is probably the easiest one you can do, or the second easiest one, debatably. Sleeping 8 to 9 hours in a dark, cold room. If you need to turn on your ceiling fan, I have one right above me. If I turn it on medium speed, it's not too loud and it cools down my room a lot. Now, if you can also use an AC for cold, and you can wear blankets. You can have a lot of blankets as long as the atmosphere around in your room is cold, and if your room is dark. I have blackout curtains. Right now, one of my blackout curtains is up, so it's not as dark in my room, but at night I like to bring them down, make them super dark, make the room super dark. I even close the door sometimes, but that's arguably one of the easiest things you can do. Moving on to another little area of recovery that's arguably the easiest one, because what I talked about with sleep, I'd say that's probably the easiest one to do, but the second one, it might be easier for others. And what I'm talking about is in between sets. So say you do a set of 10 reps of pull-ups. Take at least 30 seconds rest, if not up to 2 minutes. 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Now, if you're in a hurry, in a rush, do 30 seconds. Or even, and you can superset your workouts to make it even quicker. But if you have some time, I would suggest taking 2 minutes rest in between each set, and this will give you a lot of recovery. Now, there's a lot of things, a lot of foods and spices that you can take to help with recovery. And it's like a mix of recovery and nutrients. For example, cinnamon is so good for your recovery, and it's also a good nutrient. So, for example, if you have a protein shake, add a little sprinkle or a little dash of cinnamon. Just that will help you. And also honey. Honey is great pre-workout. Take our 10-15 minutes before your workout and it'll give you a nice pump. I like to add a little dash of salt on top of it and rinse it down with water. It's really good. It's also amazing. It tastes good too because it's honey. And it also boosts your testosterone, and it's a good recovery food. So I would suggest taking that. I would suggest raw honey because it's the best. And I would check to see if there's pesticides, and I can't think of it. It's some other weird thing similar to pesticides. GMO? No, not GMO. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But honey. Now, let's talk about how to work out your muscles. Well, we already talked about that, but I'm talking about specific muscles. I'm going to talk about the best muscle or the best exercise and workouts for each muscle group. Not to say that there's better ones, but I'm talking ones that work out, for example, your whole pec. And that's not really possible with chest. Anyways, I'll talk about the main ones, the ones that you really should do and work out. So starting with chest, I know everyone likes the chest. Most people get chest wrong. They end up doing straight bar bench press, or I guess straight bench press, where the bench is straight. And it's good, but it mainly does your lower chest. If you're to do elevated, incline bench press. If you were to do incline bench press, it would get your upper chest, and that'd be great because the upper chest is the most underrated part of your pec. So there's 3 parts of the pectoral muscles, which is your chest: the lower pecs, the middle pec, and the upper pec. The upper pec just brings it all together. When you work out your upper pec, you're still gonna have like decent other parts of your chest, but most people, when they do push-ups and bench press and anything else, well, mainly push-ups and bench press and dips as well. Dips work your lower chest and your triceps, but it only does your lower chest and it gives you saggy boobs basically, and you don't want that as a man. So you want to work out your upper chest. It's more aesthetic, and also it just looks good. I just said that I'm autistic sometimes. Anyways, Next, moving on to shoulders. I like something that can do a little bit of all of them. So pike push-ups is probably my favorite one. Now it doesn't really get and target your rear delts, but we're talking about the main ones here. And I have a video talking about shoulders, and I talk about how to work your rear delt, that back part. Most people don't work it out, so watch that video. It's great. I think it's called the 3 best shoulder workouts. Anyways, back onto the video I'm doing now. So pike push-ups, or even if you have 2 dumbbells, Cuban bench or Cuban press, looks like this. Works your lateral and your front delts. Great. And pike push-ups also do both lateral and front delts. It's great. So you can choose either one. So I'm trying to give you guys 2 options when it comes to working out. 2 exercises that are good. One that you can do in the gym, and the second one that you can do at home, calisthenics. And something I forgot to talk about with chest. If you were to do decline push-ups, that helps your upper chest. Also, archer push-ups, really good for your triceps, but also great for the upper chest. So now we did chest. We also technically did pull-ups. We did lats, chest, and shoulders. Now let's do triceps. With triceps, there's a lot of good options. Personally, what I would do if I had dumbbells, I do have dumbbells, and I do it. My favorite exercise to do for triceps with dumbbells is skull crushers. And I feel like it does a really good job with it doesn't do the best job when it comes to all of the triceps, but this is the main one. I forgot which one it does, which head. I get the names of the tricep heads wrong all the time, so forgive me. I'm still learning the workout science or the exercise science. I don't know what it's called. So skull crusher, and there's 2 options with calisthenics. I prefer dips. Now you can do dips. There's 2 types of dips. These little adjustments. If you were to go straight down, it'd get more of your triceps. If you were to lift your knees up a bit and lean over, it would do more of your chest. Maybe I got it confused. No, I got it right. Anyway, so skull crusher and dips. Now for biceps. So obviously the regular bicep curl. It targets a bit of the short so I have pretty small biceps. Short head, inner, upper head, or long head, outer. And so if you want to work out your lower head, what's it called? Short head, outer head, wide arm curls. But there's another muscle you can work out when you do curls. It's the brachialis muscle, which makes your bicep look thicker. And so I would do hammer curls because it gets a good amount of your biceps and also the brachialis. Now for the forearms. There's a lot of forearm muscles. This muscle right here is called the radiobrachialis or brachyradialis muscle. Sorry, I always get confused. Brachyradialis muscle. Probably saying it wrong. Now you can work it out when you do pull-ups. That's why mine is so big. Or what you can do is you can do with dumbbells or even dead hangs. But I want to talk about the whole forearm. So there's the grip strength trainers. They're all right. There's pull-ups. There's dead hangs. There's get dumbbells. You can do this dumbbell curl and it gets your forearms. Now, and you can also do what I started doing a while ago. I stopped recently, but because it's hot outside. But if you get 2 buckets and fill it up with sand, you can go and move your wrists around. Helps with the wrist mobility and makes it so feels better. And also works out your forearms, gives you a nice pump. There's a lot of options with this. It's really great. Now we're gonna be doing just the middle section of the back, like the traps. There's another muscle, I forgot what it's called. Australian rows or dumbbell rows like this. Australian rows I'll show you. It's an Australian row. Calisthenics or dumbbells. Great for building the thickness of your back. Doesn't really do the traps. If you want to do the traps with calisthenics, do handstands. Simple as that. For me, I have to do wall assisted handstands. I can do handstands without a wall, but only for 5 to 7 seconds. Not enough to work out your traps. But if I was to do it on the wall, I'll work out your traps. It's the best thing you can do with calisthenics. And then if you want to do it without calisthenics, just shrugs. There's a few types of shrugs. If you're to do a shrug like this, with your back straight, it mainly gets your upper trap, because I think 2 parts of the upper trap. If you were to give a slight bend or slight lean and go. It'll get your lower trap. But you really choose which one you want to do. Now for the core. There's a lot of options. Most people only have the upper abs. I'm kind of one of those people. I've been recently starting to do more lower ab workouts. But if you were to do, I don't even know, I think they're called knee raises. It works out your lower abs. It's probably the best thing you can do. Or if you have one of those sit-up machines, they're not machines, but you put your feet through it, do low sit-ups, great for your lower abs. It'll also work your upper abs, but it's like, so lower sit-ups, you can even add some weight. For example, I like getting a plate. Whenever I have access to one of those machines, I like getting a plate, or even dumbbells work, and then going like that, adding some weight. And of course, if you can't add weight, start with your body weight. It's fine, we've all been there. And by the way, and before I move on to the next part, the next muscle group, I'm not gonna cut this video because I'm trying to practice my speaking, and talking to the camera without any cuts will help you with speaking. And I'm also gonna start writing every single day, typing, writing, whatever it may be, because it helps form sentences. So I guess the only editing I'm gonna do, maybe not for this video, it's a really long video and I don't really have time, but what I can start doing for YouTube is the only editing I do is just adding some photos. And I'm also gonna try to stop saying, you know what I mean? Anyways, I feel like I say anyways too much, so I'm gonna try to stop doing that too. So the next thing you're gonna wanna do is, quads. You need quads, and you also need glutes. So what can you do? Bodyweight squats will somewhat get your glutes, but mainly your bicep, or sorry, your quads. And you can add weights, but what I like to do, and it's not even just bodyweight squats. Bodyweight squats, you go like this. If you were to do a bar, you go like that. But if you were to do bodyweight squats, maybe you'd add some dumbbells. Great thing to do for your glutes and your quads. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is for hamstrings. There's a few options I like to do. You know how there's a hollow body hold for your abs? It's like that, but you're on your stomach. You just lift your feet up. You can have your arms on the ground. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Have your feet up. You can do that. Or if you have a partner, you can do Nordic leans. Some people have suggested doing reverse Nordic leans, but it mainly does your quads. Now you need your calves. What can you do? Well, don't worry, I got you. Calves are nice. They're nice because they're nice for the wrong reasons. They're nice because they're really hard to work out, so you can do it every single day. If you're to do 20 reps, as heavy as you can go, calf raises every single day, maybe except for Sunday or Saturday, at least one rest day. That'll build your calves. Have I done it? No. Is there an excuse for me to not have done it? No. But it is what it is. So you're gonna do calf raises. Simple as that. Maybe you can get, if you're at a gym, you can get a 45-pound plate because they're pretty thick, so it gives you more. Say this is the plate and this hand is my foot. It gives you a bit more range of motion. So you go a lot more range of motion. So that's what I would suggest. So I went over how to build every single muscle, or the main part of every single muscle group in this video. Long video, almost 24 minutes long. It's fine though, it's not edited. I made some mistakes when speaking. Did I script this? No. Did I think? Let me tell you what my thought process was before making this video. I'm not gonna make any cuts or any edits. I'm gonna talk about how to build every single muscle in the body, the main parts. And then 5 seconds later, started recording. So if you found this video helpful and useful in any way, shape or form, please like and subscribe. Comment down below what you think I should do next. Goodbye.